Hello, everyone. Great to join you today. I wanted to talk about the emotional side of money today. All right. That emotional feeling connection we have with money is such an important topic, and it's going to look into why you overspend, why you under earn, why you might avoid your finances. And hopefully, the discussion will help you take back a bit of control because that's what we're wanting. All right, so we talk a lot about numbers when it comes to money, right? Budget, saving goals, income streams, but we don't talk enough about emotional money, all right? How we feel emotionally about money because it affects all of us and it's really complex at times and it's different with different people. All right, so in this episode, I really wanted to walk you through the emotional side of money and really start looking at, some of those areas of, well, yeah, that's really weird. Certain people then respond and overspend all the time. Why do they do that? Why do I actually not earn enough? Why do I just work part-time when I could work full-time? Or why do I not ask for salary increases? Why do I avoid looking at my accounts? All right. It can happen because we have an emotional relationship with money and we really want to start looking and examining that. So, with everything that I do in my coaching, I always go something that you're going to avoid. How about we frenemy it? All right, which means that I'm actually going to now go and look at a certain behavior or a mindset or a thought. And instead of going, I don't like that, because then we're just burying it, right? We're just pushing it behind. I actually like to go, yeah, I'm going to bring it right in front of me and I'm going to examine it. I'm going to get to know it. I can call it to certain things so that when it comes up, I go, oh, hello, you. I know that mindset. I know that behavior because it will, because patterns repeat, emotions repeat, behaviors repeat, right? So that's a real technique. When you start mastering that, you start going, oh, yeah, and then you then get a healthier relationship with that emotion. And you also get a way more control and it doesn't own you then. When it's behind, you're actually giving it more power. You're saying, I don't like that feeling. I don't like that thought. And so therefore I'm going to stomp on it. So it's out of mind, but it's still controlling you. If you suddenly look left or right or thinking about it, it's still there. Whereas when we actually get that skill, which happens through coaching, of course, but you then learn to really start examining it and seeing your response to it. And you actually can end up kind of liking it in a way. It's like, yeah, thanks. It can be motivating, it can be fascinating to you, but it takes that power away. And I'll do anything that actually gives me back the power. I want to be self-empowered. I don't want something else or someone else taking that power from me. And I want that for you too. So, why does it matter? Because, as I've said before, money isn't just a financial tool, it's tied to our identity, it's tied to our self worth, our safety. It's even tied to love sometimes, all right? The love of that money, the love of the lifestyle that it brings. It's really complex, all right? So, most of our money habits aren't about maths at all, actually. They're not about the figures, they're actually about psychology. All right. No, I'm not a psychologist. And for all of these areas, any area that I tap into, if you think you need a professional, definitely go and tap into that. I'm only an expert in business coaching and those aspects. But maybe you overspend because you were taught that love is shown through gifts. Maybe that's the thing. You go, well, my number one love language is gifts, or I've seen that prayed that you should be really, really generous in your gifts, and nothing's wrong with gift giving. But why do you overspend either to others? And I've had clients who do that. They actually just spend so much money on other people. And that can be it. We're not to psychoanalyze that. Is it so that they like them better or not? Maybe they just love giving fantastic gifts and it's a joy to them. So there's no judgment on any of that. It's just patterns of behavior. Or maybe it's for themselves. I overspend and say I probably needed XYZ for my hobby, but now I've got the whole kit. My garage is full of every item on that in that area, or the best of the best, which is fine if you can afford it. But if you can't afford it, then you are living beyond your means. All right. Or maybe you are a person who's actually just avoiding your finances because money was a source of conflict in your home when you're growing up. It's like every time I heard the money conversation, it ended up in raised voices, tiptoeing around each other, an icy feeling, anger, shouting. Oh my goodness, it's not a surprise that you go, yeah, I'd rather just put my head in the sand and pretend, everything is great, which is great if it is great, right? But if it's not helping you. And just because someone else or another couple often had a poor relationship with money and each other in their conversations, it doesn't mean that that's going to be your journey. But often, which is understandable, it's normal actually, we take the stories that we've learned and we then just keep living them until we challenge that narrative. All right, we often think, oh, well, it's just the way it is. And I'm the first to share many blanket statements that I just accepted and then did. And then you get to a stage of your life and go, what on earth? Why was I told that? Or it's not actually working for me. So if you don't understand the emotional roots of the patterns that you have, uh, you will when you start tapping into it, because we basically repeat all of our patterns of behavior, and so they will start coming, but you won't notice it until you do start tapping into conversations like this. And then when they happen, it's like, oh, I've got to seize that moment and go, I can see that happen. I was just about to overspend, or I was about to undervalue myself, or I was about to avoid something because of the discomfort, because of the fear, because of a panic, or whatever it was, or just because I just wanted to live in a dreamy space and pretend I didn't have to then put on my credit card and get a bill. I'll worry about that later. Things of that nature. As soon as you find those patterns which do repeat, is actually then starting to go, ask yourself, whenever you ask yourself why 5 times, you will find the source. Sometimes quicker, but you'll go, okay, well, why did you go and spend that money that you knew you didn't have? And you'll go, because I wanted it. You go, why did you want it? Because it's going to be really great with the rest of the set that I've got. Why was it important that you got it now and you couldn't have waited longer? Well, because I was impatient, or I thought they're going to run out. Like, you just keep asking yourself, why? And eventually you'll go, because, and it might be then tapping into like a scarcity mindset. People who overspend generally have got a scarcity mindset. So they might have been poor when they were a kid, and they might have always wanted things or noticed other people had things and they just didn't. And so when you're older and you've got enough money, you go and say, I'm going to get that, like it's never going to be there again. It's kind of it doesn't have to make sense. But there's a whole lot of teaching on all of these topics. Obviously, we just drop into them on this channel. And so it can be really interesting to actually dig deep and find the causes, because then you can then know about it, really spend some time and sometimes some work unpacking that, and then choosing to write a new story. So let's look at the overspending. It can be for comfort, or it can be for status. It can be for a whole lot of reasons. You feel emotionally depleted. So what do? You go and shop to feel better. All right. But the relief is really short-lived. All right. So what happens is you feel really down. You go, what's going to make me feel better? Getting something new, upgrading something, doing something positive. And it does. It gives you an initial hit. Every time you upgrade something, you get less hit, you get less dopamine released, you get less value out of that. So sometimes that's why you just get bigger and bigger things, and things can get out of control for that same sense of desire. So you go, well, that's really great. However, it's not going to last that long, right? If you bought a new pair of shoes, it might be great. You go, oh my gosh, I got those shoes that I always wanted. And you're going to be super excited in the shop. But if you wear them, one, you're going to have pain, because you're going to then have them on a credit card, and you're going to have that bill, and if you're in a relationship, it's going to be fights on why you spent that. Or two, you're just going to have wear and tear on shoes, and then suddenly they're going to get a scuff, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, that was so dumb that I did that, or whatever. We won't unpack it too much. All right. Under-earning is usually related to lower self-worth. All right. It's not that you're not trying. It's just that subliminally, you're thinking, oh, okay, I don't deserve it. This is why even some people actually don't go for certain jobs that they're able to, and they go, well, maybe I'm probably not going to get it. You go, but how do you know? Someone else might get it. And seriously, you are more qualified or more capable. And that's really sad, actually. So you don't ask for that raise. You charge too little. You say, don't worry about that when someone needs to pay you back for something. You avoid high earning opportunities because deep down you actually think, well, maybe someone else deserves it more. Maybe I don't deserve it because maybe if I got it, I'd be greedy. I don't know. Uh, we can unpack all of those sorts of things at another time. But there's reasons. Why is it? And so if you're someone watching this today and going, yeah, like, why don't I go for certain jobs? Or why do I go? It doesn't really matter, but I would really like that money, or where do I self-sacrifice in certain ways there? What's that actually happening to you there? Why are you actually, what we call it is under earning? It's all right going part-time if you only want to go part-time. It's not about that. It's not saying you always have to do more. It's saying when you want to do more, you desire to do more deep down, but you then don't go for those opportunities. What's happening there? Ask yourself why 5 times. All right. And avoidance out of fear or shame. These are the ones who go, I actually don't know what I earn. I don't know what my bank statement says. I'm just really loose with my spending. And so that's great if you've got thousands or millions in the bank. Hey, go right ahead. You don't need to check your finances. Um, but most of us in reality do need to do that. And that allows you to be in that position, particularly those of you who've done the budget video, of actually assessing and monitoring what's actually happening with your finances. So as a minimum once a month, right, you're looking at your statements, you're checking that no fraudulent activities happened, you're looking for some patterns of behavior, you're looking if you're on track, your income, your expenses, how am I tracking there? It's a really important thing to do. So if you avoid that, then that's probably when you ask yourself why 5 times, you're probably going to come down to, I remember like something that gave you a fear or shame. Maybe in your childhood or family experience, you actually had someone who, didn't have the money to pay for something. You go, I actually don't want to know that, or I don't want to have that experience. Or looking at the finances created a lot of tension and stress in the family. All right. So understandable. I tell you what, every behavior is understandable. That's why we default to it. However, it's better to know that and go, okay, well, how will I not be fearful or not be ashamed? I'll do that by doing proactive steps and getting a better money mindset. All right. So these are the people who actually, you delay paying bills to the last bit, you avoid any kind of budgeting, often because you'll be afraid of what you find, or sometimes you just delay it because you go, oh, well, hopefully they won't ask me for it again, like things like that. And that actually is, you're thinking that other person, if that was you, pay your bills, people. If you've bought the product, you need to pay the bill or service. All right, they're all emotional patterns. They're not personal failures. So we take, as human beings, we take things personally. We see it as a personal flaw or personal behavior, but they're really just emotional patterns of behavior that we have adopted for probably very understandable reasons. And when you practice and practice and practice, that saying, it says practice makes perfect. Not always. Practice makes permanent, and you can be permanently disturbed, permanently not that great in a certain area. You can also practice it at a great level and then aim for perfect, although I don't believe in perfect. We're always constantly improving. But you get my gist, right? So we want it, we've picked up patterns, and generally from childhood to young adult to middle adulthood, when you suddenly start going, got some issues here. You've had a long time of doing patterns of behavior, emotional responses to things, which you've probably just never thought of or addressed. Now suddenly you're doing it. You got to be kind to yourself. You got to just unpack it, sometimes with a professional, and realize that it's nothing about being a personal failure. Everything is understandable. No one gets up every morning going, I'm going to try and mess my life up. All right. But they are emotional responses. And if they're not adding value to you, I have a real phrase, if it doesn't serve you well, let's just have a good look at it and find a healthier way forward. All right. Because I know that all of these behaviors can be changed. So for me, the turning point was really curiosity without judgment. I started to ask myself, well, where did this belief come from? And then I'm like, well, who taught me that money is private? Money is stressful. Money could make me proud. Money could make me greedy. Like, where did I get those messages from? And sometimes it's just society or movies or bits and pieces, but usually it's by someone who you actually really respected, someone who was in a position of authority to you. So you took it more of a truth. And if it was a truth to them when you're a child, if it's true to one person, you generally think it's true to you. It's just the way we think. And so you can default to that without questioning it when you get older. So then I had to ask myself, well, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel unworthy? Why do I feel that I would be greedy? Why do I feel that that would happen to me? And if it wasn't actually true for me, I'm like going, okay, well, I'm going to now change the narrative and say, okay, that was a thought that I had. It was something that I adopted. I'm actually going to now say I've explored it. It wasn't adding value for me. It's actually not true for me. No judgment on anyone else. And therefore, I'm going to write a new narrative. And next time it happens, which it will, because it's a habit, it'll keep coming up. It'll come and I'll go, no, I know you and I know what I would have done. However, I'm now self-empowered. I'm going to choose on how I want to respond next time. And every now and then you'll muck up and you go, what? Just like it's sneaky, right? That's okay. Be kind to yourself. All right, so I began rewriting the narrative in a whole lot of different areas of my life, and I chose these new beliefs. I went and explored them, and then it's like any new habit. You've got to then choose to intellectually believe it, start it, do it, check yourself up, get other people to make yourself accountable, and then over a period of time, it's like, yeah, that's what I believe now. It's like it's not something hard. General theory is it takes 3 weeks to make a habit start, like to stick. It takes longer to keep doing it. But these are the people who go, like my beautiful husband, he just trottles off to the gym 3 times a week for his entire life, never misses. He goes, that's his habit, right? I'm a bit more faddish. I go on, go off, bits and pieces, but it's a really good discipline, right? I'd love to be that disciplined. I'm disciplined in other areas. And sometimes I'm faddish, so I'll go extreme and like I've done climbed Everest base camp and done all these crazy things. So I'll go on a real fitness bender and then I might be on the couch for a few months. Not as healthy, but we're all different. But you get my gist. So earning, yeah, more, and I've earned so much more over my lifetime. It didn't make me greedy. It actually gives me opportunities, and I love that. I love that opportunity that, my niece came over yesterday and I could just shout her breakfast and then we had the day together and I shout her lunch and just be a blessing to her. Like how wonderful is that rather than go, oh no, and I didn't have to ask her for petrol money, things like that. Like at other stages of your life, that's just a reality. And it's like so lovely that, I can have that. And it actually did the opposite. Rather than me greedy, go, well, you should earn more yourself. It's like, no, it's just such a joy. It's a joy to be able to be in that position. All right. It gives me a lot of happiness. So I would love you to spend some time just healing your relationship with money, starting with awareness. All right, that's where it starts and it grows into new habits that are going to align with your new belief system. All right. Now, how do we do that? Small little actions. All right. How do we start rewiring your money mindset? Here's 3 things to do. Number one is to name the emotion. All right. When you go to spend or you start to avoid, ask yourself, what am I feeling? All right. It can be like, oh God, I don't know, spend some time. Really want to know what is the emotion. Is it fear? Is it stress? Is it just discomfort? Is it painful? I don't know. Like try and think, if I had to describe that emotion, what is it? Then I want you to, number two, create a money ritual. So review your finances weekly with some calm music or a nice tea or a coffee if you need to. Make it a safe space that you just go, yeah, I'm just going to drift in and just have a little look here and I'm going to start getting myself comfortable. Doesn't mean you need to do a whole course on it. Doesn't mean anyone's going to quiz you on it. Just make it like, yeah, this is something I do. A new comfortable money ritual. And then next, I want you to practice a new belief. You want to write it down, you want to speak it out. So, for example, that new affirmation might be, I'm allowed to have financial peace. I desire to be financially free. I desire to have financial independence so I can make choices that are important to me. These sorts of affirmations, when you really start going, what do I want? And is that a good thing? It's a good thing. They're good things. So think of something for yourself, write it down. I'm a big fan of putting it on a post-it note and smacking it on your computer, smack it on your fridge, put it on your bathroom mirror. And really, because when you see things and you repeat it, you say it every day, it really does come into your psyche, into your mind. You start believing it more. So money mindset isn't just about affirmations either. It's about repetition and reprogramming in an area that is going to add value to you. It gives you a healthy perspective on all aspects of saving, of spending, because we can have, this isn't just about spending. We can have different attitudes about saving as well. And so we can go into that for those of you who do my coaching. But generally, it's all about just saying, yeah, is this healthy? Is it adding value? If it's not, what caused it? What happens to me? And what would I like to change that to? What would be a healthier way to move forward? And then knowing what that is and just picking yourself up on it. Repeated behavior. Your future is your sum of today's. Think about that. Write that one down. Your future is your sum of today's. So whatever you do today will be what you do tomorrow and the next day. And that's why you get and you go, yep, I'm the same. All right. You have to start changing micro changes so that your future will be different. In a year's time, you go, yeah, I used to worry about that. And now I don't. Brilliant. Absolute gold. So money isn't about the dollars. It's not about the cents all the time. All right. It's actually how you see yourself. And if that is shaped by fear and shame and or struggle, you're not alone at all. So many people with you, millions there with you actually, but we can change that story. We really can. And it's not about being rich overnight. It's just that attitude, that mindset, and the micro changes. Even if it doesn't result in a lot of extra money, it's the attitude towards it. You can build a healthy, calm, and empowered relationship with money. I want that for you. So it's great having you share with me again today. Hopefully that added a lot of value. Press subscribe if you haven't already. I love it when you can become part of my updates every time I release a new video. Definitely add some comments in, make yourself known to me. Everyone who comes, you can also drop over to anniegibbons.com and download some freebies. Book into for a get to know you. I've got like a 20-minute free meet and greet, and I can get to know how you're going. There's no pressure on that. Of course, if you're wanting to go on to those next steps, you're welcome to check out my Start, Grow, and Scale programs. But no pressure. It's just great sharing with you every week. And also, yeah, I'd like to meet you as well. So jump on the discovery call. I always just love meeting new people from around the world. So just think for yourself, just to close, what's one money pattern that you're ready to release this week? And if you don't know, watch this episode again, do a little bit of work, and you'll find there's one thing that you could probably go, yeah, that's not serving me well. I might just give that a bit of a miss. And then I want to keep myself accountable so that I can make sure that it really does disappear. And you've got to replace it with something positive. All right, great to share with you again today. Have a great week ahead.